Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at something extremely special to me. This is the Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Megatron. There's a few things that make this extremely special. Number one, it is leader class. Finally, a nice big Megatron. And for that reason, and the fact that it looks like a G1 Megatron, I'm going to be showing it to you next to MP-10 in robot mode a little later on. And also the fact that this transforms into a kind of G2 style tank. And I'll actually be showing it you next to the vehicle and robot mode of the actual G2 Megatron, which I haven't seen anyone else do yet, so you can actually get the full comparison between those figures. And I'm just going to show you a quick comparison with the Armada Megatron too, just so that you can see that I don't have the variant of this, and that's because I have Armada Megatron. So basically you can just see how the two compare, like size and everything, and sculpt and stuff, just to see if you do actually want to go for the variant of this, or if you actually just want to try and pick up an Armada Megatron. So as for the box, if we just come down a little bit here, as you can see, it just says Combiner Wars and Megatron, and then coming onto the back you can see a bio there. It's in lots of different languages, but you can go ahead and pause that if you want to check that out. And on the back we just have a picture of Megatron in both modes, as you can see. No tech specs or anything on this box, so that's perfectly fine. As you can see on the box, it does look a bit more kind of white, and then if we just flip it around you can see that it is nice and silver. But let's take this thing out for a closer look. And here is Megatron in the robot mode. So first up, I just want to say we have some really nice instructions with this. They're just very, very simple. It just goes through the steps on the other side. It just has the transformation the other way. So they are very clear and easy. You don't need them really to transform this, but they are very, very nice instructions nonetheless. We get the collector card just like with the other Combiner Wars figures. This is slightly inaccurate, and I'll get to that in robot mode and why I think that they could have actually incorporated that to make the gun look a bit better. But yeah, it is an extremely, extremely nice kit, and I'll also show you in robot mode, you know, the stickers that you can put on. And how I think that they could have been improved too. So, for starters, this thing is incredibly nice. Now, the differences between this and the Takara version, I think maybe some red pieces, just like some hinges and stuff, might also be silver, but for the most part, if you can find the Hasbro one cheaper than the Takara one, or vice versa, they are pretty much the exact same figure as far as I can see right now. So, you know, you should have no trouble choosing between the two. But from every single angle, this thing just looks absolutely fantastic. As part of the transformation, this gun does, as you can see, slide in and out. So if you, for some reason, wanted a slightly smaller turret at the front, you could do that if you wanted to and just leave it halfway. It does fire. This red button is the trigger there. It's not incredibly powerful, but it fires. I'd rather you know, a spring fire missile than a friction-based one. Something I just want to show you real quick is that at the end of the turret, you should be able to see that there's actually really, really nice molding around the edge there, so that if you choose not to have it in, it actually does look really, really cool. We have a very nice Decepticon logo right there, and overall this, you know, metallic silver paint just looks absolutely phenomenal. Really, really great mold work all the way around. This waist piece here, you can put that up. I'll just show you when we get to the transformation, because I'll have to, like, you know, unhook this anyway. But this can cover up the back if you wish. But if you do that, then that will inhibit you from being able to turn the turret. So we can actually turn the turret on this tank, which is absolutely fantastic. It still looks great even when you move it, and you can kind of see through the back there. It's a little bit hollow, but it still does look great. And then here's what we all wanted to see. So this on the left, if you are not aware, if you've been living under a rock and you've never knew anything about Transformers ever, is the Transformers Generation 2 Megatron, aka one of my favourite Megatrons, probably my second favourite Megatron, to the Armada Megatron nonetheless. And what you can clearly see, it, you know, draws inspiration from. So on this guy we've got the gun on the left, and then this other thing up here, like some kind of, I don't know, targeting system or whatever the hell it is up there. You can see that they have kind of gone with that up here. This guy right here can actually, you know, raise the turret, so you can actually get a bit more range from your toy. and obviously, you know, helps for aiming and whatnot in real life on a tank. However, this thing could not turn because these arms are attached to the side, whereas the arms on this are attached to a bit in the center, which I'll show you during transformation, which is very clever, you know, which enables it obviously to turn. However, you cannot move this turret up and down. So it's an improvement, but also, you know, it does lack something that this thing could do. This thing also fired and whatnot, but you can see the similarities of the two, and I think it's just absolutely fantastic that they have visited this. You know, on this one, you could actually see the fist sticking out the back, and you can actually see the fist sticking out the back here as well. So there's many similarities. I absolutely adore this thing, and I adore this thing too. It's just absolutely fantastic. Now, the repaint for the Armada version is literally a repaint. The only new thing that you get is the actual head. So here is Armada Megatron. Much closer in scale, as you can see. So obviously the repainted version of this is going to look a lot more like this than you know, this kind of Generation 1, Generation 2 style Megatron right here. But overall, you know, the sculpt is the same as the Armada variant, so basically this is the kind of comparison that you're getting here. So if you actually want something that does actually look accurate to Armada Megatron, which we got with Starscream, you know, we got an entirely new mold that did look like Starscream from Armada. The repaint of this does not really look like Megatron in tank mode at all, because this was the Armada tank mode. And fun fact, this was my third Transformer. Got this on my birthday in what must have been 2002, 2003, something like that. So yeah, I don't really think I'm going to be getting that variant version because there's a world of difference here. It is obviously a lot better in robot mode, and I am really happy that they did repaint this to look like this guy. But I just hope that in future versions, if they do keep on bringing us Armada characters just like they did with Beast Wars and whatnot, that they do give us some unique sculpts. So as for transformation then, we're just going to shorten the cannon right there and just take these guns off. You don't have to take these guns off really, but I'm going to anyway. So basically what we're going to start off doing first is just unhooking this rear piece, which, like I said, I'd show you. You can cover that back bit up. It is going to inhibit you from turning the cannon, but you can cover that bit up. Obviously, you give yourself a bit of a gap here, but it's then a complete gap. It's just probably, you know, you can pretend the tank is just designed that way, and then you haven't got like other gaps created by this and whatnot. So it does look, you know, still very cool like that. So you know, obviously you have that option if you want it. So these front parts up here, they are connected just by these little tabs here. We're just going to untab and swing these around on both sides, and we're just going to leave them right there for now. And these leg pieces, they're going to untab. They are tabbed in just inside here. Now be careful, these bits here, they are thin plastic, so more so when you're actually putting it into vehicle mode, just be really careful when you are tabbing those in. When you're trying to push, because, you know, don't push on this bit out here. You can see that can flex if you put loads of pressure on. It's not going to break just from like pushing it like that, but when you're transforming it in, when you're tabbing it in, push it there rather than there. You don't want to break anything. So we're just going to untab that. There's two tabs, one at the top, one at the bottom, and they are just going to come out, and they are going to lock into place like so. So these bits that create the top of the tank, they will be the arms, and they're tabbed in. The cannon actually is holding the two pieces together. The cannon is attached to this side right here, the left, and the tab is right in there. So you just want to pull off that piece up there like so, enabling you to slide these bits down. Now here is the circle bit. Now the inside of this bit spins, and that's what enables you to get that rotation in tank mode. As you can see, the slots here, when the arms come down through those slots, that bit cannot rotate, so it's nice and solid. Now, so what we can do is the front of the tank here, we just flip this down and it tabs in just at the bottom. We can flip the waist piece up, that tabs in. We can now flip the head around, and then the bits on the arms here, they just flip up, revealing the fists right there. We can move this around like so once we've actually got this one out. Can be a little tricky, obviously, because you've got the cannon sitting in the way, but we just slide that up. The cannon can rotate out, You can turn this around, but I'll just get onto that in a little bit. And now all you have to do is, with these back pieces, they slide down like so, and then you can tab them together like so. Coming down to the feet, these bits just rotate out and just pull these little slidey bits down. And then you have the leader class Megatron in his robot mode, fully transformed. So taking a look at these weapons closely, we have this gun right here, and then this other little piece. Now you can obviously have him wield both of these, so he has like a rifle and a pistol, or you can actually combine them together to make one larger rifle, which I think is pretty cool. The holes are on the forearms. Like I said, you don't have to take them off, so you can actually leave them on there, which the G2 Megatron also had that feature. So this figure, like I said, comes with stickers. Now the problem is, this white backing, that is actually on the individual stickers. So we have these swirly bits to make it look more accurate to the IDW version. They just go here and here. However, they're white, that's silver, they're going to really stand out, so that's not very good. This rectangular piece is meant to just go on the gun over here. And then you might be thinking, why does he have Autobot logos? Well, he becomes part of the Autobots. He actually, I think Bumblebee either gets destroyed or at least severely injured anyway. And he's befriended Megatron for a while, so becomes attached, and then when Bumblebee either gets destroyed or whatever, he literally takes his Autobot logo and puts it over a Decepticon one. He realizes that they are actually fighting for good and everything, and yeah, becomes an Autobot, which is really, really cool. But what's not cool is the fact that they've given it us as a sticker. I don't really like that. You've got some nice bigger Decepticon logos, which are a bit bigger and a bit darker than that one, although that one is very nice. It's exactly the same as the one that was on the opposite side. I think it just would have been really nice if we could just literally put the Autobot logo on and off as a like little plate or something, as it was in the comic, you know, instead of having it as a sticker, which if you then ever choose you want to take it off, you only have one more chance to put it back on because they give you two stickers. Whereas if it was just like a little piece of plastic that you could take on and off whenever you wanted, there's a lot more kind of playability there. So I really would have liked it to have been, you know, an actual piece that you could attach, and you never know, a third-party company might do that, but maybe not, I have no idea. Like I said, on that card, he has his little gun on the back, and I thought that would have been really, really cool to obviously make it look more like a G1 Megatron. Like, have it so that you could literally, like, you know, take one of these off or something, or, like, maybe have it so that you could open a compartment in here and put the barrel down inside there, because as you can see, you do shorten the barrel, but it only shortens that much, so you could have it looking more G1 style with the bigger end over here, or you can obviously, you know, flip this around. If I can just get the arm straight, there we go. So that, you know, you can still actually fire the missile in this mode. And you might think it doesn't stick up as much out of the shoulder, so you might think it looks a little bit better. However, I think it would have been nice if you could actually detach this, because then it's that much shorter, you know, it looks a lot more G1 accurate and just looks a lot better in general. And then if you could put that in the top somewhere so it sticks out a little bit, so that it could actually look a bit more, you know, G1 accurate too. Because, after all, that's what they've tried to achieve with this figure. As you can see, we have an amazing G1 Megatron head sculpt right here. We have awesome, you know, G1 style torso. And even, like, the red on the inside of the arms, looking a lot like the original G1 toy. I just think that's absolutely fantastic. Another thing that's absolutely fantastic that I didn't mention in vehicle mode is that these treads are actually rubber, and they actually roll. And when you actually push it along the surface, putting pressure on it, when they all roll, it does actually sound really, really cool. Obviously, you don't get a big, you know, gurgling diesel engine kind of sound, but it is a pretty cool one. So something else that you may have noticed, that if you actually, you know, don't pose him, he does stand just very much up and down. It, you know, maybe does look very robotic, but what you have to do is just turn the legs a little bit, like so. You know, maybe just pull the arms one and just move the elbows a little bit, and then you can give him lots and lots of character, and I really, really do love the look of this guy. So here he is in comparison with MP-10, the Masterpiece Optimus Prime. And as a size comparison, obviously Megatron is a little bit smaller. He's actually half an inch taller to be exact. He stands 9.5 inches tall. Which you might think, why the hell would I even be doing this comparison? Well, the old Masterpiece Megatron was way too big, obviously, for this Masterpiece. They still haven't done another one, probably because of, it probably costs a lot to get a license to actually make a toy that looks a lot like a gun. So that's obviously why they've given us this Megatron in the kind of G1/G2 style. I think that they're listening to collectors who want this kind of Masterpiece Megatron. They've been able to make a cheaper version in the Combiner Wars line, and I think that the way to say sorry that we can't really get a Masterpiece one out right now is the way that they've done it, how it looks a lot like G2 Megatron with the tank and everything, so it's kind of like tickling everyone's geek spot in that sense, so that we're all actually forgetting to actually be kind of angry at them for not doing a Masterpiece scale one. But until we do get a Masterpiece Megatron that is actually in scale with this Optimus Prime, I think that this works fantastically. I mean, you might be able to just stand him up on something, I don't know, but I think that it looks fantastic, and if you get this Prime posed in a way, maybe like moving the legs around, making him look a little bit shorter, then this guy's just going to look absolutely fantastic with all your other Masterpiece figures. And here he is next to G2 Megatron, so you can see that there's a lot of similarities here too. Obviously this guy has a ton of more articulation. I really do hope, and I'm pretty sure they probably will, do a variant of this in the actual G2 camo, seeing as they gave us G2, versions of like the Combaticons and some other things recently. Especially with their Masterpiece collections recently, they're trying to get as much uses from the molds as possible, so getting the G2 repaints out there too. I definitely think that we will at some point. If we've got an Armada version of it, we should be getting a G2 version of it. And then here he is in comparison with the Armada Megatron. So obviously standing much taller, and if you wanted your Armada Megatron to be taller, then fair enough, the repaint can do that. Obviously the Armada version, you're supposed to have these bits still folded out and sticking up a little bit, either all the way or just over the shoulders there or whatever, but at the end of the day, just doing that and then having, a different head, yes, the colours and everything do look great, and obviously coming with the two Decepticon logos, you could stick one there and it'll look a bit more like it. And you can also, if you turn the arm around and everything, you can actually get this cannon sitting along the waist, just like you can with this, how the cannon can come down. But for the most part, this guy is completely accurate to the show. Yes, you're going to get more articulation from this guy, which I'm going to go over in a second. But, I think that if you are an Armada fan, I think that you probably should just go ahead and get this. Unless he is really expensive nowadays, which I have no idea. But if he is, then the new version is going to be great. Obviously it's got a head that looks a lot like this, but the spikes on the head I don't think are as big. He doesn't come with Leader 1, which I really would like, because this thing sticking out here, that sticks out on top on vehicle mode, and these two right here and here, they're minicon ports, so that's fantastic. You can actually still put minicons on this guy just like you could with him. You could fit loads on him. So I'm really happy that they've done the repaint and slight retool as an Armada Megatron, but I think it'll just work better as a G2 or G1 style Megatron, and that if you want an accurate Megatron for Armada, then this mold is just the way to go. So as for articulation, the head moves on a slight hinge here, up and down, and you also get left and right. He does actually have light piping, but there's really not very much, as you can see. It's really not lighting up that much. If you put a light directly here, the eyes do light up nice and red, but really for the most part they're not all that fantastic. I'm just going to move these down just so that they're out of the way a little bit, because they do hinder articulation a little bit, obviously, in these shoulders, so they can rotate all the way around. They also come all the way out like so. We have a rotation here at the elbow, which also moves 90 degrees, and you have a rotation here at the wrists. We have a waist joint right here, which is pretty cool, and the legs, these bits here are on hinges, so they go all the way out. They are ratcheted. They also go forward and back a very good amount. We have knee hinge here, and then the foot, I guess you could class that as a bit of articulation down there. So very, very good articulation for a very blocky kind of G2-esque figure. I definitely say any G2 or G1 Megatron fan, you have to get this thing if you're into collecting Transformers. And even if you're into the Masterpiece figures, I think that this is pretty good, just stood up on a shelf. Obviously close up you can see that it's not supposed to be a Masterpiece Megatron at all. That shiny metallic silver really does pop. I don't really mind that you have some grey bits like these bits down here on the shins. They're a close enough colour that they don't really stick out at all. And it just looks absolutely fantastic. You know, whichever way you have this cannon, whatever you do with these back pieces, which don't stick out too much either, they actually look very, very suited to him. I love the fact you can still see the treads on the back there and everything. It just, everything about this I love. There is nothing that I do not like about this Megatron. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to see more pictures of this guy and anything else from my collection, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Homerino123 for both. Links will be in the description below. And if you want to know what's going to be coming up on my channel over the next few weeks, go ahead and check out my Transformers unboxing video, where I don't actually just show you the Transformers that I unboxed from Kapow, but I also show you a lot of other things that are going to be coming up for review very soon. So go ahead and check that out, and if you want to see any future reviews, go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you